What's up? It's just me for now. Hello. What's going on? Oh, there he is. Perfect timing
What's up?
almost.
How are you?
Doing all right. How are you?
Great. It was my dad's birthday yesterday. We were supposed to go celebrate with him, but his mom, who has Alzheimer's, we got a call from the nursing home that we should go see her because it's probably not going to be much longer until she gets KO'd by life. So we celebrated tonight.
KO'd by life. I don't know what's going on, but it feels like that very much is going around right now again. Not necessarily COVID or anything, but it seems like there's just a lot of bad things happening for a lot of people. So Maximus is here. What's going on? Ragnar and Sardis, hello, and happy birthday to your late wife. And Dave and Jeff, what's going on? Oh, Sean is here too. I feel like I haven't seen Sean live in a while.
My favorite ginger British man.
It's a short list. What's going on, Dustin?
I mean, I think he's my favorite British person.
Grogu the Child. I mean,
can you name another British person as cool as Sean?
Fanatic Dragon's pretty close.
He's Scottish.
Which is it's not a part of Great Britain, but it's part of it is a part of the UK. It is a part of the UK.
Nah, Scotland's its own thing.
It is a part of the UK. Absolutely.
That's like saying Sicily's a part of Italy.
I mean,
it is, but different culture. I don't see Sean wearing kilts.
I mean, there's different cultures from like where I live and 30 miles away. So
the U. Like the South?
Like where we are civilized, fairly normal here, and then drive 30 minutes away and it's Confederate flags and Al-Qaeda everywhere.
I love Al-Qaeda. Hey, you said no politics brought into this.
That's not politics. That's Missouri, my friend. Jeremy said, "Oh shoot, I thought this was a show with just Ryan. Didn't think Flip."
Yeah, Ragnar's right. Scotland and England are two different worlds.
Yes, I agree with that. I wasn't saying that they're not.
I have to say though, all the British Asian YouTubers are awesome. Like Leon from Hong Kong Blu-rays. Sean needs to start a YouTube channel. I don't know what he's doing.
I agree, especially every time he puts out a Patreon video, because I am a loyal patron of Food for Thought. Food? Why do I always say that? Food for Thought.
I always say food too.
I'm just fat.
Hey, me too. Oh, dude, speaking of food, my mom made she made homemade panko breadcrumb crusted shrimp for dinner, but the dessert was a cinnamon bun cake, homemade cinnamon bun cake.
Sean says, I once wore a kilt to a friend's wedding with no underwear, and the photographer ended up having to Photoshop my cock and balls out of at least half a dozen pictures.
Dude, Sean, you should have like a premium tier on Patreon, like $100 for unedited photos, and I would totally purchase those.
I love that Griff signs on and says, evening, as we're talking about Sean's cock and balls and Dustin recovering from a vasectomy.
Dude, it's Jeremy, it was incredible. Cinnamon bun cake. I've never had it before. It's rich as fuck, though. I'm really hungry still. I might go get some. I might go get a piece.
So Dave has a question for you, and I'd like to share the screen so we can talk about this for a minute.
Yeah.
That's Jeremy, sorry. Dave says, $10. Flip's had a Woody since the news of the Sunny Chiba box set dropped. So let's go ahead and pull this up.
Yeah, let's talk about this. So I think the movie selection's pretty okay. I think the price is the most impressive part.
Well, and that's because we are probably not going to get a ton of extras. Let's go over this. This has 7 movies in this box set, and
Huh? I said yep. I was just going yep.
Oh, I thought you said no. 7 movies in this, and this is a Shout Select title, and direct from them, it is $60. And not only does that get you the full box set, but also a poster.
A nice little poster too, yeah.
And the films in this, let's go over those 7 real quick. Yep. On disc 1, we got Yakuza Wolf, I Perform Murder. Yakuza Wolf 2, Extend My Condolences. Disc 2, Bodyguard Kiba. Disc 2 as well, Bodyguard Kiba 2.
So Bodyguard Kiba 1 and 2 are, I think those are Takashi Miike movies, and they're not that great of films. A lot of these, what I noticed is that a lot of these were put out on DVD by Tokyo Shock, which is a subset of Media Blasters back in the day. So right. I'm wondering if this is just like a sign. Maybe I'm looking too much into it, but maybe they got a lot of Tokyo Shock stuff, because a lot of these are like old Tokyo Shock titles. So
although it's a box set, the only thing I will caution with that wishful thinking, one release is an offshoot, 2 releases is a pattern. So let's wait till we get at least one other thing that shows that they have more. So that was disc 2. Disc 3, we got Shogun Shadow,
incredible film,
Samurai Reincarnation, and then disc 4 finally. This is the last one, and then you can go into that. Disc 4 is Swords of Vengeance.
So Shogun Shadow is a really good movie. Fat Samurai guy told us about it when we were on stream with them. He was talking about the final duel. He's like, the final duel is incredible. Chiba plays a villain, which is kind of rare for him. Samurai Reincarnation is the same. He plays the same character as Jubei, who was a real samurai in real life, but not much is known about him. He's the guy with the eye patch. So if you ever see Sonny Chiba playing a samurai with the eye patch, he's playing that character. Discotheque's putting out Shogun Samurai, which is the first movie that Sonny Chiba plays that character, directed by Kenji Fukasaku. And then Samurai Reincarnation is like a wild version of that story. There's like zombies and stuff in it. It's crazy. But I think overall this is a nice little selection. I mean, Bodyguard Kiba, they're all right. But overall, pretty impressed with this set. I'm gonna be picking it up.
The fact that it's only $60 for 7 movies is, to me, the most impressive thing about
this. Do they have commentaries on them?
What it says is extras in progress and will be announced at a later date. Now, the hard thing with Shout Factory is that they've been saying this for a lot of their stuff, and then announcing that they are not putting out any new extras on the titles after they said this. So things like I think Return of the Living Dead 4K was the most recent one, and maybe actually Army of Darkness as well. I believe they're getting the 4K upgrade to the film, but not getting any new special features. But when they posted the pre-order, it did say something like this. So they're saying like, "Hey, we're working on extras. We'll tell you more about them later," only to come to find out it's all the exact same extras from the Blu-ray release that they put out previously. So obviously this one's a little different because there is probably going to be something there, and they didn't put this out previously, but it's still questionable. Like, what are they thinking? Because if they're going to post that, there better be something that you're adding.
I hope they do something like a videoette feature or something to honor Sonny Chiba. Because he is one of the all-time greats. And I'm actually shocked that it took this long after his death for something to come out.
Yeah.
Like from anyone. Like I would I was expecting, a box set or 2, but the fact that we're getting one or this late.
Grogu is asking, are there new extras on Halloween Resurrection? The funny thing, that new Halloween 4K box set with those 3 later Halloween films, which most people don't love, most of those 3 films, Halloween Resurrection is pretty much the most hated Halloween film ever, even more so than the Rob Zombie films. And they went all out for new extras on Halloween Resurrection. The other ones got 1 or 2 new things each, but Resurrection got a lot of new extras. So yes, they are doing a lot for that Halloween box set, thankfully.
Speaking of Halloween, did you see the trailer for Halloween?
I did, and
good.
I hesitantly excited.
Haven't seen any of the new ones, but that looks cool.
They're all worth it. A lot of people are, they've shat all over Halloween Kills, but I will say right now, I am a staunch defender. I think it was a great film with really good deaths, and it's Halloween. There's not a lot more to tell other than cool kills. And to be fair, when they announce a trilogy of films and they show the one to establish everything, they announce that the last one is going to be called Halloween Ends. The middle film is kind of going to have to be a transition film.
Yeah.
So I think a lot of people were unnecessarily hard on the second one. And like I said, cautiously optimistic about this fall.
They're at the bottom of my list because right now I need to finish Everything All at Once.
Yes.
And then I want to watch Nope.
Did you see the news on that today? Should we bring that up?
What, 4K on Nope?
No. That is coming out. We do know for a fact that Nope 4K is coming, but Jordan Peele let loose in a interview that there is an individual that was in one of the trailers for Nope, but did not appear in the actual film, and he was credited in the film as having the name like Nobody or something like that, and supposedly we are getting another Nope related film, and he is going to be in that film.
Huh.
So there is more to come from this universe. And I will say, Dustin saying I like Halloween 6 and Resurrection, or rather, I love those. I love the producer's cut of Halloween 6, and I am a big defender of Halloween H2O. I honestly have always loved that movie. I don't know why.
Is that the one with Ice Cube?
No, that's Resurrection.
Okay.
And it's not Ice Cube, that's Busta Rhymes.
Oh, yeah. Which is Walmart Ice Cube.
Yes. But speaking of Busta Rhymes, you know where Cam is tonight? Our friend Nerd of the 80s?
Who? Where?
Cam is seeing Busta Rhymes, Nas, and Wu-Tang tonight in St. Louis. It is a hell of a night. Yeah.
Damn, that's awesome.
Sardis, I really hope you like it, and I hope you watch it soon and let us know what you think. I'll be looking for that in the Discord, because it's a great movie.
See, it's a movie, like, all the trailers make it look like I would love it. I was enjoying it, but I've never paused the movie and haven't come back to it. I don't know what it is.
I don't get it. I do say that movie is one that is very special to do all in one session if you can. I know it's long, but if you can, it is a great one to go all the way through. Because it just hits pretty damn hard. Robert wants to know any guesses on what the Vinegar Syndrome titles for September.
Hopefully more Billy Blanks.
Well, first off, we don't have any more clues that there's a new VSA coming. And the fact that they just released one during that sale, not sure that they would do one immediately. I mean, they certainly could. But we don't have any news on that front. I believe what we're getting are two 70s classic horror titles on 4K. If I remember right, I think that was the last hint. And a good friend of the channel, Ken Carlson, that is usually here to comment, he and I talked about it today, and he thinks it's going to be Silent Night. Oh gosh, what's it called? Not Silent Night, Deadly Night. What is the other title? I never forget this, I never remember this because I don't like the movie. Okay, Silent Night, Bloody Night.
That's a good title.
Yeah. Flex wants to know, is Legend of Dinosaurs and Monster Birds any good from Discotech? I believe that just got announced, right?
Yeah, no, it's not good. Not good. I think that was, I don't know what they were thinking. When I got told that was coming out, I was like, it better be part of a package deal because that movie's garbage.
But they're probably going to sell quite a few because the cover art is pretty great.
Yeah, I mean, like, I don't know, it's not the worst thing I've ever seen, but I'm not even going to pick it up.
Is it just one of the, like, super cheesy, terribly acted kaiju films?
Yeah.
Okay.
There was a point where I had every Discotech release, and then they started putting out too much fucking, how do I say this? Too much gay stuff. Like, literally, like, it'd be like a gay cartoon, and I'm just like, it's not my thing.
Grogu wants to know what we thought of the Corn Shucker. I will tell you, Flip will never watch the Corn Shucker. I have not received my package for the month of August yet because of the sale.
What is the Corn Shucker?
It is from a new partner label from Vinegar Syndrome called VHS Hitfest, and it's their first title, and it looks like a fever dream basically, and I'm super eager to see it. It looks pretty great.
Yeah, I'm not too big into corn and any corn-based stuff.
Ragnar says, I hope Vinegar Syndrome goes towards more horror releases since it's Halloween season. I can confirm, based on what I know is already coming for the rest of the year, it is going to be a heavy, heavy horror season for us. So you can be confident in that. Flex says, what about Space Sheriff Gavan?
Gavan is incredible. Fucking amazing show. Do I have? It's the same series that Juspian is a part of. Metal Heroes. You know, Big Bad Beetleborgs when we were kids.
Yeah, of course.
The original show that's based off of is based on the Metal Heroes franchise. So, but yeah, Gavin's great. I'm excited for that. That's a day one buy.
Michael Howard says, I'm guessing it's going to be another out-of-print Shout Blu-ray title. And I don't get this hate, Mike. They've done, I think, 2 of those this entire year. 2. And they've been, like, pretty significant upgrades. So, I don't know. Dude says, I had to rewind that. You think Silent Night, Bloody Night is getting an HD release from Vinegar? That's what Ken guessed. I'm not sure. The clues could line up for that, but it could line up for 55 other titles. So I think a lot of it is wishful thinking at this point. We shall see. Hilton wants to know, what do you think of all those titles announced from Air 444? You want to go over those one by one?
Yeah, I mean, one of them is a Gold Ninja video release, which I thought was odd.
We're gonna go over that because their wording in the original announcement,
little shade thrown.
Oh, not a little, like a lot of shade thrown. And I was
That's what I thought too. I was like, man,
I was really unhappy, and we actually discussed this in the Discord. Link below for the Patreon if you're looking for that. But this is what Air 444 said of their releases. So the first thing from 1980, they are getting Fatal Termination, or sorry. I think that's supposed to be 1980, not 1990. I don't know why there are 2 different dates in their
Girls
announcement. That's right. We're working on a restoration of the legendary Hong Kong action film with arguably the most irresponsible and dangerous scenes ever put to film. But it's really so much more than just those scenes. Watching the amazing cast go after each other with nonstop precision is exhilarating, to say the least. This is definitely one every Hong Kong action lover should see.
Yep.
And then the next one is Challenge of the Lady Ninja. May we introduce the most outlandish martial arts. Let me put up the title. The most outlandish martial arts film you've ever seen. This Taiwanese ninja film is overflowing with crazy antics, female mud wrestling, giant spiderwebs, underground gopher fights, murder by ninja seduction, an all-female assassin squad, and several big bads. So first of all, I would buy this movie 3 times just off of that. It's an incredible little martial arts film that really throws everything in the book at you. We're proud to be doing a brand new restoration of the film and hope that you all embrace it with as much affection as we have for it. It has strong female lead characters who kick ass, and we honestly can't wait to show it off to you soon.
Hell yeah.
Have you seen either of those?
I've seen the first one.
Fatal Termination. Yep.
I've not seen this.
So here's where the shade comes in. They also announced for 1981's Thrilling Bloody Sword. You may have heard this one recently, as a print of it was scanned and released to the public. We're doing a proper restoration of the original elements to make sure the film is seen in the right way for the first time ever, and we went through the correct channels to do so. Like, I mean, come on. That's... Maybe you don't need to say that. And the sad thing is, they realized they didn't need to say that, and they edited their announcement afterwards and took that out. So those of us that posted the original information have
I want to
the
know
actual...
if it's a different print, because Gold Ninja said that they had the last surviving print.
Gold Ninja said that they found let me see if I can pull it up, because I sent this to somebody else as well. Maybe not. When they posted this, it was basically causing some people to call them Gold Ninja bootleggers in the comments, and that just wow. First of all, I'm trying to see if I can find where I posted it. I apologize.
When this comes out, I would like to do a comparison video on it, because I mean they are saying they went through proper channels and all that crap. I want to see how much better that film looks, because I think when Gold Ninja announced it, they said we have the last surviving print. So,
but that could be the difference, is they had a print and they don't have the original elements. And if somehow Error was able to track them down, then that could be a big thing. On top of that, I'm willing to bet that the restoration is going to look incredible, first of all, but none of this would have happened if Gold Ninja had not put out their release of Thrilling Bloody Sword, because it caused this major like tide turn of people towards this film. And now AGFA is booking showings of this across the entire US. So without Gold Ninja putting it out, like no one ever would have been clamoring for this movie other than like, you know, the 12 people in the world that had ever seen it previously.
It's an okay movie. I mean, I don't get the fever for it or the fervor for it, but it's okay.
I think everybody's just hot for a lot of Asian films right now, especially Hong Kong.
Hey, you know I'm always hot for a good Asian movie.
Oh, we know. And then also they announced the Imperial Sword Killing the Devil, released the same year as Bloody Sword. Imperial is another Taiwanese fantasy wuxia picture that takes off at warp speed and never rests until you suddenly realize it's all over and can safely wipe the sweat from your forehead. This film has skeletons, acid pits, flying dragons that make people explode, cartoon death drops, and rock climbing, and that's all in the first 10 minutes. This is a film that rushes by you. It's like a fast-moving train, and if you catch it, you'll be privy to all its secrets and amazingness. We're thrilled to be doing a full restoration so it can be seen again in all its glory. And then, let's see, at the end they say, one big thing, we are hoping to get Run and Kill and Red to Kill out within the fourth quarter of this year.
That's soon.
That is very soon.
That's like what, next month?
That starts September, yeah.
That's what I thought, yeah.
Or October, sorry. October, November, December.
Arrow seems to be killing it. I haven't picked up a release from them since Anatomia Extinction, though. Nothing else has really caught my eye. But these new batches of releases are exciting.
Yep.
So,
Movie Palace, I totally forgot about this, but he was saying when Flip mentioned Ice Cube and H2O, he probably meant LL Cool J. He was the security guard at the school.
it's one of those rappers that were gangster rappers, and then now they're family-friendly movie actors.
Yep. Let's see. Sean says, Fatal Termination is one of the wildest stunts of all time, and it involves a kid. Interesting. Ragnar picked up Funky Forest and the Warp Forest from Air. Well, I haven't watched it yet. Heard they're crazy. They are certainly weird. They are some wild movies. Some great effects in it too. Pretty dang good. I have not seen Gorgeous from Jackie Chan. What do you think of Gorgeous? Have you seen it?
It's all right. I mean, it really feels like they're starting to scrape the middle of the barrel
for Jackie Chan.
Chan, yeah.
Yeah. Bob's Blu-rays here. What's going on, Bob? Let's see.
Bob, love you and your Blu-rays.
Movie Palace, there's 100 reasons Halloween Kills sucks. Evil Dies Tonight being repeated is one. Another is we're supposed to believe that small, scared old man people mistook for Michael Myers. I mean, people had not seen him. They've not all witnessed the carnage. Just because you've seen it on the screen doesn't mean that they understand what's going on. Yeah, the Evil Dies Tonight is stupid in Halloween, but I mean, it is still better than like 7 or 8 other Halloween films, period. Even with that in there.
What's your favorite Halloween movie? Except the original.
I mean, the cop-out answer is Halloween 3, so I'll stay off of that one as well. I genuinely really like the sequel, the specific Halloween 2 quite a bit. It feels a lot like the first one. If I have to go deep into the sequels, you and I both ride hard. I'm gonna go. I really enjoy the Rob Zombie films. I think that they are really well made.
Are you excited for his monster movie?
No, not really.
You think it's gonna be good?
I don't know.
What happens if it comes out it's a fucking masterpiece and we're just like, whoa. And
it might be. I mean, that first trailer was just such garbage that I don't know that it can overcome that. I'm really confused because they put that out and then a week later they suddenly announced, oh, by the way, this is coming to Netflix, and it was coming to Netflix the whole time instead of going theatrical like it was supposed to. And beyond that, that second trailer was leagues better than the first one. The sound was decent. The picture looked a hell of a lot better. I don't know what they were thinking. I feel like they just jumped the gun.
I think so too. To answer your question, D-Flex, Shanghai Joe so Magnificent Warriors, yes, good. It's a good movie. Shanghai Joe is a lot of fun. If you can get past the racism in that movie, because it's an Asian in the Wild West, there's a lot of racist jokes. It's a fun movie.
Ragnar said, I think the Gold Ninja release was limited to 888. It was limited to 800 on the Thrilling Bloody Sword, and they sold out like faster than any other release they've ever done.
I missed it, and then I think you texted me and was like,
Yep.
"Hey, they found."
I got you the in on one, yeah.
Yeah. So.
And then, but beyond that, they also announced we've never done this before, but we're going to put out sort of a standard release of Thrilling Bloody Sword because it was their first film that they scanned themselves. That was one of the big deals for them.
So how does that work with the new announcement?
Hold on. So they announced that they were going to be putting these out, and they had been working on it all this year. And then this announcement came on Friday, and before Justin even heard about the announcements, he had people messaging him left and right to cancel their pre-orders, which, first of all, really shitty to do. That should not happen. I mean, first off, they're going to be wildly different releases, and if you really love these movies, just keep that pre-order in and get the Air release on top of it, or get the standard Air later or something. But anyways, Justin got on Twitter like 3 hours after the announcement and said, all right, so I saw that this was announced. We are halting production, and we are only going to make what we already have ordered for the people that have pre-ordered. We are not doing any more. So the entire release from Gold Ninja has been scrapped.
Huh.
And it doesn't necessarily have to be like there's a rights issue, because they're different countries. So people that support Gold Ninja and everything he does, it's not the same restoration. It's not the same features. It's a different country. It's the same region coding, but that's it. And I honestly think most of Gold Ninja stuff has been all region anyways.
Yeah, I think it is.
Because they're public domain. So,
but it's 2022. You should have a region-free player.
Exactly. So yes, it was very limited, and now Justin has had to cancel.
That sucks. You been watching anything good?
Some.
I've seen that you've been posting reviews on your Instagram, and I'm like, damn, dude, he's watching a bunch of shit. None of it's Lone Wolf and Cub 2, but it's okay.
I watched last night the third film in the I Know What You Did Last Summer series called I'll Always Know What You Did Last Summer. And I got to admit, that is one of the worst films I've ever seen. It was bad.
Pretty bad title.
Yeah, it's real bad. My wife and I were basically roasting the film the entire time. It was great. But what we are planning on doing is going hard on franchises for the stuff that we're watching together, for things that she's never seen. So we're gonna be watching all the way through a lot of different shit in the coming months. Saturday night, though, one of my favorite theater experiences of my life, and it is all the time because this theater is amazing. I went to, and this is a little koozie that they did, Carpenter Fest 5 at my local repertory theater, and they showed Escape from New York, followed by Escape from LA, and finish up the night with They Live. I can confirm Escape from LA is still not great. It is so much cheesier than I remember.
What time did you get out of there?
We got home about 2
in the morning.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
And I don't think you and I have talked about what I just got tickets to, so we'll talk about that in just a second. But this thing, like Escape from New York on the big screen with a bunch of Carpenter fans, is a blast. And They Live, watching that again with the brand new 4K restoration on the big screen, that movie still hits really hard. Still super relevant. Still great. I mean, 5.5-minute fight scene with Roddy Piper, and it's glorious. They Live is a classic for sure.
So what'd you get tickets to?
October 1st, I am going to see, starting at 10 a.m., all 8 of the Nightmare on Elm Street films.
What day is that on?
I think it's a Saturday or Sunday.
Damn.
October 1st is a... Oh, that's November, sorry. October 1st is a Saturday, so it lined up perfect.
Nice.
So, yeah, we are starting with Nightmare on Elm Street and ending with Freddy vs. Jason, and I am so stoked.
What about the new Nightmare?
That would be the 9th one, and the rights lie elsewhere, so they only did the first 8.
But you're ending it with the best one, so that's all right.
Exactly. Yes, Griff, all in one sitting. I believe it starts at 10 a.m., and the last film is supposed to get out around 1 or 1:30 the following morning.
That's so cool.
I've never done anything like that, and I cannot wait. Terry says the special features on the Gold Ninja Edition help put Thrilling Bloody Sword help put it in context. I'll be curious if the Error 4 edition will do the same. And the crappy thing, when Justin announced that they were going to be halting production, he even said, if they ask, they can have my commentary.
Aw.
I really wish they would.
We should petition.
Chester, you are not the only one.
What are you gonna do? Are you gonna bring like a neck pillow, or are you gonna bring like a sleeping bag?
I am just gonna hope for the best.
Could you imagine if they did all Lone Wolf and Cub movies in one sitting?
I can, because I've seen an empty theater.
That's good. And end it with Shogun Assassin.
Dustin, nice. Dustin's going through a lot of Zhang Yimou's film right now.
Never heard of him. Don't know who that is.
What about yourself? What are you watching lately?
Nothing. Game of Thrones. It's good. House of the Dragon. Really good. A little bit of uncomfortable pedophilia stuff in episode 2, though. We watched it last night. He's trying to pick who his next wife's going to be, and his two options are a 12-year-old and I think a 15-year-old. So it's a little sus. He doesn't pick the 12-year-old, thank God. Even though logically it would make the most sense. It's good though. It's doing the thing that I loved about Game of Thrones that they kind of shied away from in the later seasons. Is there's a lot of just people sitting around talking politics of the city, talking about stuff that's going on, and they're setting up this bad guy called the Crab Feeder, which he'll impale his victims and then let the crabs eat them. It's really good. Yeah, my wife loved the first episode. So Taylor didn't see any Game of Thrones except for the last season. And going into this, she was like, "Do I need to know anything?" I'm like, "No." I think it's set 200 years prior to the first one. Ooh, I want to go see Bullet Train. Yeah.
What else was I going to highlight? I love this comment. It talks about what we all watch all the time. Grogu says, planning to watch Birds 2 tonight. Never seen it, but I'm told it sucks balls.
Hey, Birds 2 is a masterpiece. Oh, did I tell you I just remembered. Did I tell you the Birds 2 story? We had to watch Birds in high school for some film class, and the teacher was a stoner, and they put on Birds 2.
Wow.
My mom's texting me. She broke her iPad. She needs a new one. Can you get it for me tomorrow? That's what she just said. God.
Steve-O says, watching Chinese Boxer now.
Never heard of that movie either. I don't know what that is.
It's not a movie I've raved about many times.
Yeah, I'm a horror guy. Come on, guys.
Let's see. I had a couple more on here I wanted to bring up real quick. God, what is today? The 30th. Okay, so the last thing we talked about was Lightyear. Since then, I watched, hilariously enough with my kids, Sonic the Hedgehog 2.
Is that good?
Genuinely decent. Yeah, Jim Carrey's great in it. Rewatched Drop Dead Gorgeous from '99. Have you ever seen that? About the beauty pageant in Minnesota?
No.
Dude, it is so funny. It's got a Warner Archive release. Really, really great film. An incredible cast. And as you're watching it, it's 1999, and it's got it's Amy Adams' first film, and she is a baby essentially, super young. You know how young she looks in Catch Me If You Can?
Yeah.
She looks 8 years younger than that, and it's only 4 years prior.
I did watch something else. I watched 2 true crime documentaries.
Oh, nice. Which ones?
I Just Shot My Dad.
What is the documentaries you watched?
That one's I Just Shot My Dad. That one's okay. I don't know. I feel bad for the kid, but he's so hollow. There's nothing in him. He has no emotion. He's just. I think he's a legitimate psychopath.
I don't know if I feel like I've heard of this one. Is this the one where the kid called 911 right after he shot, and that's where they got?
He's just like, "Hey, I just killed my dad," like just real blunt.
Ragnar says needs some methamphetamine for that kind of marathon. Good thing I'm on Adderall.
And then the second one I watched, I can't remember the name, but it's about a woman who meets a guy right out of high school. So like she's a senior, she meets a guy who's a little bit older, and he used to be a pro baseball player. So he gets signed right out of high school to the Major League Baseball, gets a career-ending injury in his like first few weeks, goes back to his hometown, meets this girl who's still in high school, but he's like 19, she's like 17, 18. So it's not like weird. They decide to go to college together, and while in college, she gets terminal cancer. She ends up beating it, but even though they said it's terminal, you're gonna die. Her cancer did come back at one point, but they had only been dating for like a few months, but he stuck with her and literally carried her where she needed to go because she couldn't walk at one point. She ends up getting better. They get married. They're told that they're never able to have children. They end up having 2 daughters, like back to back. They have 1 daughter, which was a miracle. And then they had a second one, like less than a year after they had the first one. They found out they're pregnant again. And he has a really successful landscaping business. She's a teacher. And then when their oldest goes to college, they decide to just move with her because they're like a very protective family since,
Right.
Everything that's happened. So he sells his business. He opens up a new one in Colorado. They move there. Life seems to be good. And then one day on Mother's Day, the 2 daughters are out camping. The husband's in Denver for work, which is like 100 miles away. And no one can get a hold of her. They find her bike and her helmet, but they never find her body. And it turns into she had been having an affair on her husband. And this happened recently. He actually just got out in like April. So they took his cell phone data and they were able to like calculate how fast he was running in his house. And there's like weird patterns of him running. And they think he was chasing her around the house when he found out she was cheating. Because her lover said, yeah, I was on FaceTime with her. And then she puts the phone down and says, oh, hi, honey. Like he walked in on her FaceTiming her lover. The door to the bedroom was like kind of fucked up. Like it looked like someone had barricaded from the inside. But there's no blood. There's no physical evidence in the house at all. They then have his GPS info on his phone. He stops at 5 different. So like he pulls out of his neighborhood, and to go right is where he would go to Denver because like the interstate's that way. To go left would take him like this huge long route, which would take him longer to get there. He said because he's an avid hunter. He says that he saw some elk, so he took a left. But that's the road that they found her helmet and her bike. It's like he threw the helmet out the window. And then he stops at 5 different dumpsters along the way. There's video footage of him throwing stuff away. And he said it's just trash.
That's a lot of trash.
A lot of trash. The only physical evidence of her is that there's a tranquilizer dart. And he's like a big hunter, so it's not weird that he has a tranquilizer dart. There's a tranquilizer dart with some of her like fingerprint DNA on the tip. No blood or anything, just like weird.
While he's answering his mom, Ragnar says, what about the Master TV series with Van Cleef? I will say, Flip just left. I will say Flip has probably not seen it. I've seen a couple episodes of it, and first of all, Lee Van Cleef is crazy good in it.
Okay.
Have you seen The Master, the TV show with Lee Van Cleef? Is this the Kino release?
Yeah, it's stuck. I have it though. It's right there.
So it's pretty good. It's a bit
fun.
cheesy, but yeah, it's pretty good.
But anyways, so he's saying he didn't do it. His daughters believe him. Her parents don't believe him. And the only thing is, on the inside of her car is they found DNA. They don't know whose it belongs to, but it matches the DNA of a bunch of rape victims in Arizona. Yeah, like just completely. So that's how he gets off, is that there's this unknown person's DNA that matches a bunch of assaults and rapes in Arizona that was found on the inside of her car. So he really could be telling the truth, and someone just kidnapped her. Because there was no blood in the house.
Right. John says, "Hey Flip, I'm digging into Shaw horror. Which should I go into first? Black Magic 1, 2, or Corpse Mania?"
Black Magic 1 and 2, for sure, and then Human Lanterns.
What's going on, Garrett?
But yeah, it was a good documentary.
Ragnar brought up Human Lanterns as well. Yeah, it sounds good. I'm assuming both of those are streaming.
I think they were both Netflix. I can't think of the name of the second one. It was like The Missing Wife or something. He had a very generic name. But if he's telling the truth, I feel bad for him.
Yeah, of course. A couple more recent watches I wanted to bring up. First off, Fulci's City of the Living Dead. That happened to get announced coming in 4K from Cauldron on Friday. But I was watching that for another group over the weekend, and I just love that movie. For anybody that's not seen it, City of the Living Dead is beautiful. You really got to watch that film. When Fulci hits. And then to jump to the opposite side of that, a lot of people have hated this film, but I really got to throw my weight behind Bodies from this year.
You good?
So much fun. One of the most like fun, tense horror kind of movies that I've seen in a long time in the theater. Just a blast through and through. Great acting. Rachel Sennett, who was the star of Shiva Baby that came out from Utopia, she slaughters this movie. She is amazing in this film. Really, really good group dynamics. They do a really great job.
If we would have sent her back in time, we would have stopped the Holocaust.
I would probably agree with that. Wow. Let's see. What was I about to say? That's gone. One of the things that we don't see in a lot of these modern films, especially, is they just try to dive into certain things and not go deep enough into characters, so you don't care about them. This film, there's like a believable, relatable story for every single character, and it's not, confusing because the number of characters, because it's a little isolated movie with like, gosh, I think there's 5 or 6 people in one house, and that's it. And so you get to know everybody. It's amazing.
I've not seen it, but I really that's got Skeet in it, right?
It is not Skeet. It's got Lee Pace is the guy that you're thinking, and then Pete Davidson is the other one.
That's Skeet.
Oh, when we're talking about horror movies,
Pete Skeet.
When we're talking horror movies, and you say Skeet, I'm gonna go Skeet Ulrich.
No, it's Pete Davidson. So Skeet's in the movie.
Ragnar says, I own 8 different versions of City of the Living Dead.
Jesus
Good
Christ,
God.
dude.
I think I have 3 right now.
Who collects multiple copies of the same movie?
Yeah. How does The Beyond compare to City of the Living Dead? It's odd because they're technically a part of the same trilogy of the Gates trilogy, and they're very different. The Beyond is, I think, a little more artistic and has a little more like metaphors to tell. But City of the Living Dead, I've always enjoyed. Maybe not. I was gonna say I've enjoyed it more than The Beyond, but overall, they're both just incredible. We were discussing that Fulci really needs to have some of his later stuff and earlier stuff put out by some of these boutiques, because they would sell like crazy. There are people that have, Severin specifically has put out a ton of mid-era Fulci with the big titles, and we really need some more focus on those other ones. But they're comedies and westerns and dramas and stuff like that, and people just aren't willing to take a risk.
We need what was it? 4 of the Apocalypse?
Yes.
Western. That's a very violent movie.
John says A24 has been doing interesting things this year. I agree. The titles they put out this year have been a little all over the place.
I'm trying to think of the last A24 movie that I've been excited about. Huh. Oh, Northman. Was Northman then? No. Damn. That's A24 adjacent.
Ragnar puts it perfect. One has a woman puking up her guts. Another one has a German Shepherd ripping out a woman's throat. Take your choice.
Which movie?
City of the Living Dead is the one with her puking up her guts, and the Beyond is the German Shepherd.
Ooh, I kind of want to see the one with the guts, with the puking up her guts.
Have you ever heard about the infamy behind that scene?
Mm-mm.
So this actress in City of the Living Dead, Fulci had her literally stuff tripe into her mouth and showed her vomiting it up. So it was literally just her like bleh, and having it come out of her mouth. Literally having it come out of her mouth. But we're not just talking about a little bit, like mouth stuffed to the gills, going down her throat, and it all came down. It is an insane scene. And then after that, he makes this, it's kind of subtle if you look at the old versions. Now that we're looking at good 4K restorations, you can really see it. But he transfers to a dummy head, and it like forcefully comes out after that. It's wild.
Fu says The Beyond has one of the most bleak endings of all time.
It's interesting.
More bleak than The Mist?
No.
The Mist fucked me up the first time I saw it.
Me too. Big question here, and you probably won't have much to say about this because you're not a
Italian horror, man.
Not a horror person. British
Italian
horror versus Italian horror. If there was a Blu-ray 4K 10 movie best of set, which would you take? I mean,
Italian.
I got to be honest here, Big Disc, which, by the way, love the name, Big Disc Energy. This is an easy question for me. I think that the highs of Italian horror hit 10 times higher than the highs of British horror. I do think that there are probably more overall higher quality British horror films just in the entirety of the catalog, just in numbers, because think about it. There's really only a handful of great Italian horror directors, and then there's a bunch of giallo, which nothing against giallo.
Italian movies, you get hot Italian people. Name a hot British person.
Food for thought.
Besides Sean.
I can't. So I do think that the Italian box would be better if it was just genuinely the 10 best. And then he says, which country would win in a horror movie Olympics?
America?
Well, if we're just going...
Japan.
Maybe. I mean, if you throw in... Oh, gosh. I mean... That's a wild question because we could really go into the weeds on those.
I would say it would have to be era. 2000s French, absolutely. High Tension, Martyrs, Frontiers, Inside. All those movies are fucking great.
Yep. I
would say French. Like that era. Those movies I listed in a box set would be my favorite horror stuff ever released.
Yep.
Frontier specifically doesn't get enough love.
Well, that I don't know that has ever had a U.S. release, even on DVD. I'm not. It did.
Yeah, I had it. I think it was. Okay. I don't know who put it up. I remember going to Best Buy and buying Frontiers.
Ragnar says, I think all of Fulci's movies have bleak endings. There's a reason for that. Fulci is famous for saying that he hates happy endings. So he, like we were talking about this in the group, supposedly at the end of City of the Living Dead, there was like, oh, everything's resolved. How do we make this a not happy ending? They literally just have the kid scream out of nowhere, or the woman scream while the kid is running, which makes people think that he is a zombie. So we have no confirmation of that. But it's just, hey, we need this to end in a bleak way.
What's going on, Ice?
Hey.
So what is your favorite era of horror?
Favorite era of horror? I mean, I gotta go... I probably got to go 80s. I mean, the high focus on really great practical effects is the best thing in horror ever, I think. I think that there's some underappreciated other eras, but I think that the sheer number of what we got in the 80s that is quality is really hard to argue with.
I don't disagree.
Any pickups for you recently that you want to talk about? I feel like you haven't been buying much lately.
I mean, things have slowed down. I think Tiger Cage was the last one that I was hyped about, and then just waiting for the Chameleon film stuff to hit orbit. Shawscope 2. I think things are, like it was crazy for the first half of the year, and now it's just kind of dead.
I disagree, but
for your taste,
yeah,
it's still going. But for me, specifically limiting myself to action movies and Asian movies and westerns, it's been kind of slow.
Ragnar said Italy, USA, and Spain. My top 3. Spain.
Italy number 1, dog. Italy number 1.
I don't know that Spain could be top 3.
Hey, Italians just do everything better. We have the best westerns. We have the best horror movies. The sexiest cars that everyone wants are from Italy. Lamborghini, Ferrari,
Bugatti.
I think Bugatti's French now. I think they got bought out by.
Oh, I did not know. I haven't followed cars since I was like 7.
Let me tell you, as a Bugatti owner.
The only thing I wanted to share, which is hilarious that we talked about this for like 12 minutes in the very beginning. I shared this with Patreon people last week, but I had been waiting for this from Gold Ninja for forever. And I had ordered 5 titles from Gold Ninja, and the biggest one that everybody was looking forward to is the Iron Dragon Strikes Back.
That's bad.
And I mean, yeah, but also came with the Mad Monster, and what is this one? Dinosaurs in a Mining Facility, which is just silly, and then I'll shave that one for last. Duel on the River. This is a fairly modern movie, I believe, or maybe I'm wrong. Yeah, 2021.
What is that one about? Does he fight a boat? What is that?
Who will be the defender of the river? A maniac in a boat terrorizes innocent kayakers on the Detroit River. It's a duel on a river, and it rules. Trading Plymouths and tanker trucks for kayaks and motorboats, Isaac Roth's no-budget debut is a rip-roaring tribute to the Steven Spielberg cult classic Duel. But dispense all pretensions of production values aside, this vehicle is fueled entirely on DIY ingenuity and an inspired comedic charisma that sneaks up on you across an increasingly outrageous and infectiously endearing trajectory.
See, if you didn't say Detroit, I would have said, oh, that takes place in Florida.
I mean, if they had a budget, it probably would have, because then they would have fallen off and battled gators as well.
Detroit is the Florida of the Midwest.
Yeah, that makes sense.
But the last loves dinosaurs in the mining facility.
I mean, that makes sense. It's supposed to be a lot of fun to watch. Yeah. Last one that was in that group that seems to be a lot of people appreciating this is Skip Tracer. This is from 1977. A genuine Canadian, like, overlooked classic. It's supposed to be great. Can't wait to watch some of these.
What was the Canadian cyberpunk movie that you were telling me to get? It was
not Canadian. It was from Houston, and that was No Resistance.
Okay.
No Resistance. Big Disc says Italians also made some awesome crime films in the 60s and 70s and 80s. They didn't just stop in the 70s. They did a lot of great shit.
Italians also made Me. So that was dope.
John says Spain has Nashi, Franco, and a ton of unique stuff. And Spain is right up there with Italy. I mean, I'm not a Franco guy, so that takes away a lot of the output from Spain, unfortunately. Nashi's great. They don't have the numbers to match some of these other countries.
I'm a big Kazakhstan horror film guy.
I really wish that some of these other countries, like some of the old Turkish films, I would love to see some releases of their stuff. And obviously, Mondo Macabro's done a few. Did you see Unearthed is putting out a Serbian film in 4K?
Yeah, that's why I said that. I saw that. Why? Who the fuck needs that in 4K?
Who needs that in 4K? This man, John Peters.
Is John really that big of a?
John loves a Serbian film.
That's his favorite movie.
You would probably say that's his favorite movie, yeah.
Huh. Okay. Not judges.
I mean, it's a good movie. I will say that specifically.
Okay.
You need to branch out, my friend.
Dude, I watched that movie, and I branched out. Not watching a guy rape a child in a movie. It's all right. Italy gave us Monica Bellucci. Oh.
You looked like you were posing for your patron saint photo there.
Speaking of saints, Abel Ferrara is making a movie on Padre Pio
with Shia LaBeouf.
I'm really fucking excited, dude. I'm really pumped for that movie. Like, I'm not even joking. I love Padre Pio.
I love Shia LaBeouf. Abel Ferrara is good what he does.
Yeah, Shia LaBeouf. Allegations aside, great actor.
Yeah, I mean, he is an absolute douche. Supposedly, he's a terrible person. But I've loved almost all of his movies, and that's hard to look away from.
That's true. It's like the Kevin Spacey of our generation.
I wouldn't go that far yet, at least.
Okay, he's like the
Bryan Singer? No,
God, no. Louis C.K. of our generation.
There we go. Yeah, that's better.
Someone got canceled recently. Some actor, and the way it sounded was just like a bad date. It was like the Aziz Ansari thing, where it was just like awkward. Have you seen that joke going around TikTok where it's like the Me Too movement? That's the worst fucking name for that entire thing. Could you imagine being like telling someone like your most horrible traumatic experience, and you're like, yeah, no one believed me. The cops wouldn't file a report. My parents shunned me. Me too. Been there, done that.
John says, I need a Serbian film in 4K, and he says, I own 2 t-shirts from a Serbian film.
Okay.
Big Disc Energy says, where's James Franco? And I would say he is watching his brother Dave Franco rise to fame.
Yeah. It's like the Afflecks. Casey was a piece of shit. I think Casey was the far better actor.
Yep. Than
Ben. Dude, have you ever seen Manchester by the Sea?
Yeah, I need to watch it again. I didn't watch it I wasn't in the right headspace to watch it, and not that it was like extra depressing or anything like that. I just didn't like, you know how I am. I didn't engulf it the way I should have.
That movie captures grief perfectly. It's so good.
God, something just happened with that movie, and I was talking about watching it again. I can't remember what now.
Shia LaBeouf also did an interview with a priest that I follow on YouTube. That was pretty interesting.
He's made some genuinely great films, and the way that his performance in Fury is perfect.
Great.
Genuinely perfection. And even going back to what people think are like cheesy movies, like Holes. I don't think anybody else could have made Holes the way that
Transformers.
He did. He's decent in it.
You know, I think Fury is David Ayer's best movie.
It's up there with the End of Watch.
I think Fury holds up better in the long run.
Oh, well, completely. Especially because now a lot of it kind of just looks like propaganda to a lot of people. But
propaganda? Oh, dude, speaking of cops, I've been going to the gym. I'm like 52 days straight now going to the gym, working out.
Wow, good job.
There's a cop that comes in late at night, and he is very nice. So my plates are expired since last year. And none of the cops in town give a shit. They're like, oh, whatever, dude. No, it's not a big deal.
Ugh.
There we go.
Peanut Butter Falcon was perfection, Sean. Loved that movie.
I want peanut butter. Oh,
this is a peanut butter M&M.
So the building next to the restaurant, the guy, his job is he builds trackers for falconers, and he has a falcon in his building. And we came to work on a Friday, and there was just a big ass falcon outside, just on the roof. And we were like, Louis, your falcon got out somehow. Can you come get this fucking thing? It's massive. Birds of prey are cool.
Wow.
I don't know. I think we need to release the air cut. He keeps saying that it's really good. So, I mean, if fucking Snyder could got his cut out.
Sean says peanut butter falcon does sound like a poop-based sex move, though. It absolutely is. I wonder if that's an Urban Dictionary.
Pull it up. Pull it up, Jamie.
All right. I absolutely will.
Do you know what sounding is?
Yes.
I just found that out a couple weeks ago. Really fucked me up. Is it in there?
Yes. Oh my god. And I have to zoom in because if I share this, it will be blocked from YouTube immediately. Oh man. All right. Share screen. Where is my tab? Oh boy. Sean, right on the money.
Sean,
just perfection.
All those years working at a porn company really paid off for
you. You should probably shave that beard though. It's starting to smell.
This one?
No, I'm talking to Sean.
Oh, I'm getting a tattoo on Monday.
Again?
Mm-hmm.
I'm so jealous.
I'm getting cutthroat right here.
Never mind. I haven't had a tattoo in literally a decade, and I'm like very itchy for one.
I got this Asian woman's head decapitated on my arm. I got this thing, and then I got I'm gonna get cutthroat right here.
Just think, 10 years ago, you were in like 6th grade.
10 years ago, I was 20.
I know, it was a
I was
joke.
20. I was an adult paying taxes. It's hard to believe that is a real thing.
Stardust, just because it's in Urban Dictionary does not make it a real thing, by the way.
I'm sure someone's done that, though. Can you Urban Dictionary sounding for our beautiful audience? And
no, I'm all right.
I mean, so it's when you take a rod and you put it in your urethra. It makes your orgasms better.
Supposedly.
If you go to r/sounding and you hit top of all time,
why?
There was a guy. He's got a big piece. And he's got a glow stick in his dick, and you can see it through his dick. Dude, it made me throw up. I was
Except never mind. The glow stick hadn't been popped yet, so somebody just grabbed it and shook it.
Dude, so when I was a kid, I busted open a glow stick and I drank it. And my mouth was glowing. And my mom took me to the hospital. And they're like, it's non-toxic. He'll be fine.
Oh, that's
what
funny.
Is chili dogging?
Can we
We're
talk
having a great
movies?
time here, guys. We're really disconnected tonight.
There is some big disc energy.
So, you know how I always joke about how I think your sister's cute? But it's because you two look exactly the same. It's just because I'm sexually attracted to you.
I was supposed to put my next video with her out last Friday, but we laughed so much together that it is taking me ages to edit, and it really sucks.
What's like? Do you do something when you laugh really hard? Like, do you pee your pants, or do you?
No, I'm normal. No.
Taylor will pee her pants if she laughs too hard.
Most people that have had kids will, yeah.
And then my kid does it too. So
that checks out.
Yeah. Do you know what shrimping is?
I thought we were finally getting away from this. I
Just one
don't
more.
know what shrimping is.
One more before we go. Shrimping is when you accidentally stick your big toe in a vagina.
It has to be on accident?
I think so, yeah.
How is that defined?
Like, you're sitting on the couch, your wife, like, pops down, and it just goes, whoop, right up in there. You ever shrimp?
No.
Okay.
I've cocktailed. I couldn't say with a straight face.
Oh, no, honey, I accidentally fell. You're pregnant now.
That's not what tail is. Anyways, I think that's it. First of all, there's been a ton of news in the last week, which is way unexpected. Like, this is supposed to be the calm week of the month, and my Thursday show is going to be probably 3.5 or 4 hours long just for the announcements.
Fuck yeah. That's a night I have to wash the dishes by myself.
So, anything get announced that you're like, that's awesome, other than Sonny Chiba?
No. Next time we talk, I will be 2 weeks into Shaw Timber. I'll talk a lot about Shaw Brothers next 2 weeks.
Yep. I agree with Ragnar. Blows my mind that somebody hasn't heard of Amicus till 2022. You're in a hell of a treat if you love Hammer. Amicus is great. Great company. Ice is asking, do you know anything about all these Discotheque out of print announcements?
I don't know what I can say. I'll call you later, Ice, and tell you. It's nothing like scary, like they're not working well with companies or anything like that. It's actually kind of a silly reason, but
what is stuff going out of print? Is that what?
Yeah.
Said?
So these. Oh, I did get something in the mail actually. Fuck, I forgot. I don't know where it's at though. It's over there. Justin from Discotheque was able to snag me the first out of this trilogy and 2 other things that are out of print now. But yeah, these got announced late last year. They came out this year and they're already gone. They're out of print. This one, from what I understand, is a big thing with anime. And the reason why anime is kind of more expensive than your average Blu-ray is that you're getting, this is 43 episodes. This is 39. I think they retail for $60 a piece or something like that.
That's pretty damn good.
Yeah, but the problem is that Japanese companies, the way they price Blu-rays in Japan is astronomical. So they'll break a 43 episode show up into Blu-rays with 2 episodes on it, and they'll charge you $40 or $60 per release. It's very expensive to be a fan of anime or tokusatsu in Japan. So a lot of Japanese people now just wait for the English version, and then they do reverse importing because you get the whole thing. Because here we would not tolerate that. The rental market, from what I understand, is still huge in Japan. That's why they price their Blu-rays out the way they do. So I guess this company was getting upset at reverse importing, and it was just a headache. So they were just like, we're just gonna pull the release. Fuck it. So, but yeah, it's sad. A lot of stuff that is getting. I don't talk about mecha anime enough on this show. I should probably start because it's my favorite anime. Mecha anime is amazing. I hate different volumes for the same season. Yeah, it's like that, but even worse. All the releases that are getting pulled are mostly mecha stuff. So they just pulled Dankuga, which just got a Blu-ray re-release last year. That's a great show. So it makes me worried about the future and if they're gonna even put out any more mecha stuff going forward. So, but yeah.
Movie Palace wants to know, have you seen Company of Wolves and what do you think of it? I'm going to answer for Flip. He's never even heard of it.
I've heard of it.
That was kind of a joke. But
Just
also
now?
Surprising, yes. I have seen Company of Wolves, but it's been like literally since VHS, and I'm not going to hardly remember anything about it. I remember liking Angela Lansbury for some reason when I was younger because she was in a lot of stuff my parents watched. So I'm probably going to pick it up and check it out. Big Disc is looking forward to Power of the Dog in 4K. It looks like poo on Netflix.
Wait, is that getting a release?
Yeah, Criterion's putting it out.
Oh, wow.
I will say I'm happy for you. I could not stand the movie. So I'm glad it's getting a release, but I fucking hated that movie. Sean says my Drive 4K is shipped. The Mark Dacascos film, not Gosling. I believe mine has too. I'd have to look it up. I think it did. And the Tulin. Have you watched any Russian films? Yeah, quite a few. There's some good ones out there. And actually, Stardust in the chat. We've been talking a lot about Russian films recently. He's pretty big into Russian films. And Deaf Crocodile. They've been doing some good work on some of those Russian films. Ragnar, wasn't there 4 discs or something special about that set that you could only get in that set as well from Severin? I can't remember. Anything else exciting other than Shaw that you are eager to see the second half of the year? Or gosh, last 4 months. We're almost halfway through the second half.
No, I'm excited to see. I started taking supplements. I started taking testosterone. Started taking creatine. So I'm excited to see how that goes. I deadlifted 550 pounds last night. So I'm excited to see where I am at the end of the year if I continue it. Interesting.
Mike says, I love Gatchaman.
Hey, Gatchaman's a great show. Great fucking show. I bought the Sentai box set when it was out of print. So I paid like $100 for it. And then literally a month later, they announced a re-release with brand new artwork, brand new features. I'm like, fuck. So yeah, anime rocks. I could talk about anime longer than I could talk about Shaw Brothers. Like, I love anime. Yes, I am looking forward to that stuff. It's just like everything. I don't know. I don't know what release dates are for a lot of that stuff. I just check Orbit once a day.
Magnificent Warriors is November, I believe.
Yeah, so like everything's coming later. That Shaw Brothers box set's going to be great. But it feels like the last 4 months. I mean, we have releases up to November, so it's going to be like literally December. It's like the last month. So we have like one more round of announcements for the rest of the year.
I says, have I seen the Jaws UHD photos? You'll have to be more specific. Does that mean there's something else coming from Jaws? Because Jaws was already on 4K.
How old was I when I started watching Asian cinema? I mean, if you count anime, young. Like, really, really young.
I'm trying to remember what my first Asian film would have been.
I remember
yours is much younger than mine.
Yeah, I mean, I was a little kid, but like I remember like when Hero came out here in America. I was so pumped for that. Media Psycho's group buy.
I've not checked on any group buys in a long time, actually.
Didn't you just do one?
Not just like
this year though.
No, I actually did it last year, and then it got here this year.
That makes sense, yeah.
And that was the Grindhouse double feature.
There was a Lighthouse group buy that I almost did. It was beautiful.
Was that the M Life release, or was that something else recent?
Yes, it was the M Life release.
That M Life release was astonishing artwork, like some of the most beautiful release artwork I've ever seen.
But I didn't pull the trigger. I just can't justify that.
Disc wants to know, does anybody know why the Lawrence of Arabia 4K went out of print suddenly? Did somebody announce it was out of print, or is it just not available in between printings?
Because it might just be in between.
Well, and that was one, I think they only did Steelbook for the standalone release on that, if I'm remembering right. Because it was in, man, I might be confusing myself. That was one of the ones in the Columbia Classics, I believe, right?
Yes, the volume 2, right?
I feel like it was volume 1 even. Let me see. And then I think that was one of the only ones that they released standalone. So, yes, volume 1 had Lawrence of Arabia, and that was not released on 4K outside of the Steelbook. Yeah, it's only in the Steelbook. And so, I mean, they also could have just done a limited Steelbook and then nothing.
Dave says that we need to do a hardcore horror live version of Hellsing. Have you seen Hellsing?
No.
Dude, it's so fucking awesome.
I've seen Van Helsing.
No, it's a manga that got turned into an anime. Hellsing Ultimate. There's 2 versions. There's the original Hellsing and the Hellsing Ultimate. Is incredible. Some of the best animation. It's hyper violent. You got to see it. It's so good. It's about this Hellsing organization. They have a vampire called Alucard. He's like the head of all vampires. The Vatican's involved, and they have like crazy. It's wild. Some of the craziest fucking fight scenes ever. It's good. I haven't seen it in a while, but I have all the manga and the Blu-rays.
The Tulin says, here in Russia, everyone starts watching Asian movies from Old Boy. How do people usually start watching in your area? I feel like now Netflix is seemingly getting a lot of people into Asian, and not necessarily just horror, but also, I mean, you bring up Old Boy. That literally just yesterday got announced that Neon has picked up the 4K restoration in the States for a theatrical run, which means they will probably put out a 4K of that in the States, considering that only came out in the UK for Arrow. That could be a nice release.
Back in the day, Asian movies like, the Shaw stuff and the Lone Wolf and Co., like the samurai movies, it was almost like word of mouth. Like, because I grew up just right before the internet became the internet.
Yeah.
I was right there. So it was like mostly word of mouth. I was lucky enough to grow up in a restaurant, and a lot of how I got into stuff was from employees who were 16, and they were like, yo, dude, you should check out this game, you should check out this anime, this movie. And then having a movie rental place literally a stone's throw away from the restaurant really helped out too. So,
well, that and a lot of these old kung fu and martial arts films would play on really like staticky channels throughout the middle of the night. So anybody that was staying up late, you could see half of films all the time and be like, what is this?
In the back of the restaurant, it's now a storage room, but it had like a big lazy boy chair that I was a little kid, so I would just fall asleep in it. And I had a TV and Super Nintendo. And I was supposed to be asleep, but I would turn on the staticky channels and watch some action movie, some Asian action movie. And there was a big bowl that we used for cheese, but when it got clean, it got put up on the shelf. I could see the reflection of the rest of the restaurant through it. So I would be like watching it like with the covers on, and then I'd be like, oh shit, my mom's coming. I would turn it off and like act like I was asleep. Seen that show where Netflix yeah, I saw that.
I have not.
Here in America, they would probably get shot.
The Tulin Sardis is asking you, did Coma get a theatrical release there? Because of the success of that show, we got a new Netflix anime deal. They've really stepped up, and sadly, I think we have things like Squid Game and Parasite to thank for a lot of that.
Oh, even my parents know what fucking Squid Games are.
Right.
Like, it's wild. But you want to go wrap it up? I have to drop the deuce.
And go work out, I'm sure. Everybody, it's been a nice night. This was a nice, fun hangout. I'm glad everybody's been here. It's been a good time. Like I mentioned earlier, show on Thursday is going to be huge. Please come hang out if you're going to be there. It'll be a good time.
It's going to be a great time. I'll be there, probably not talking, but I'll be there listening.
Cam paused his concert to say Wu-Tang forever.
Hell yeah, dude.
Wu-Tang. Anyways, we love you guys. Have a good night, and we'll see you in 2 weeks.
See you guys.
In September.